Good. You guys been reading around or what?
Yeah.
Huh?
Follow you on Twitter.
See what you guys created? I figured it was good enough for you guys to release on Twitter. I could do the same. Somebody let me know that's what was going to go on today, so you guys know Patrick's going to start game one, and Trevor will be for game two. We told those guys, we met with them this morning. You probably saw them walk in the office, didn't you? Yeah. So we talked about. We met with KT and all my pitching coaches, Dunk and Hark and Fed and Stott, and we had conversations. You guys are probably aware that we've talked about it a bit, and we thought Patrick, the year he had last year, he came in great shape, he's throwing the ball very well for us. We thought he deserved to be our starter in game one, and I'd like to match up with Cahill as well in game two. He's throwing the ball well too, actually. We went out after, and he had a very, very good bullpen session. I feel like we made a lot of progress with him being more consistent and being able to throw the pitches that he needs to throw.
To whatever extent the concerns about workload, whatever extent those were, what overshadowed that?
Well, I mean, it was just something that we talked about, and I talked to Patrick about it, and we've had a lot of discussion, and there's just looking ahead in the schedule. That doesn't mean that he'll start opening day for the Giants either. We have flexibility in the schedule beyond that. So, all in all, it was something that we needed to consider. I think we're pretty comfortable with a young kid being able to handle the workload. He's changed some things. We've talked about him being a little more efficient in his bullpens. Last year when he did his bullpens, being a young guy, really first full year that he kind of went all out in his bullpens. Now just a little more efficient, understanding what he wants to work on, back it off a little bit. Hopefully he should have more in the tank.
Would you imagine he and Trevor could get to 6 or 7 or 8 innings by the time?
They'll be up to 100 pitches before they go. And Patrick will start on that Saturday before we go. Trevor will start on Sunday. So actually, I think it's going to work out that Patrick will get an extra day. I think Cahill will say Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday. He'll actually be on his 5th day because we're going to lose the day. We'll lose Monday.
Have you thought ahead to coming back if you'll maybe go 3, 4, 5 when you get back and give those guys extra?
We haven't set that again. We obviously talked about that today, but there's nothing that's just done. We'll get through the other guys, see how they're throwing, see what our health is, and continue to study, how it lays out not only the Giant series but beyond.
Does this mean the other 3 guys are staying here for sure?
It doesn't. That doesn't mean that. No. It doesn't mean that.
Will you take all 5?
I doubt we'll take all 5. But I don't know that all of them will stay back.
I mean, can you just talk about would you take one, whoever it is, just in case somebody gets sick?
Yeah. Well, definitely if somebody gets sick the day of the game, you want to make sure you have enough length. We may not need that because Delgado's going to get another start. He'll be built up pretty good, and we all know what Coleman is capable of doing as well. So we might not need that, but we haven't made that decision. A lot depends on how the rest of the bullpen shakes out. I'm particularly interested in our left-handers to see how they're throwing the baseball and how they play into it in Australia. So it's we're very focused on that part of our bullpen.
You're saying just because it'd be a nice luxury to have more than one.
Well, that's not what I said. It's just who's it going to be who's the first guy going to be number one, and beyond that, 2 of them are the annual squad because the roster construction is going to be a little different than it is opening day. I'm not going to go into specifics right now on that. So we have some flexibility in how we can go. It'll be certainly shaped for that series for the 2 games.
Can you go as far as to say if you're going to add extra pitchers for those 2 starters that are say 2 starters that don't go, or might you dip into the position?
Haven't determined that yet. But we have the flexibility to do that. Yeah. And it's safe to say we're going to take an extra catcher. Part of that 30 will be. We're going to take an extra catcher for sure.
What was the deciding factor on Cahill getting a start over there, too? Is it how he's been throwing this spring, matchup? Or?
Combination, yeah. I like the way Trevor throws. He's throwing good against the Dodgers. He's, they've got really 3 lefties in Gonzalez, which is somebody that's really the guy in the lineup that's giving him some trouble. Crawford and Ethier. But, his stuff I think plays good to try and get through their lineup. I think he's throwing the ball really good. I think mentally he's in a really good spot. I think we've made a lot of progress. Trevor, as you guys know, he's always trying to figure out why he can't do this like he wants to do it. And we focus on that in a little different tactful way that I think is starting to come together for him.
What made today the day that you made this decision?
We were ready. I mean, I don't make all. I mean, it's just kind of it just came together, and actually we thought that it'd benefit the guys to know, and the sooner we can let guys know where they kind of fit in as we know that, I think it's to their advantage, and they can kind of understand the schedule they're on, and they can kind of shape their schedule towards the Sydney series.
When did you guys come to the decision?
This morning. We had that meeting in there this morning, and we talked about it, and honestly, that's who we were talking about. As we looked, and the more conversation we had, and the various things, the criteria that we went through, we felt today that we were all in agreement that was the way to go, and that today would be good because we wanted to tell the players, and I told you guys when I told the players that we'd let you know.
Did the Dodgers' decision to, it sort of seems like they're leaning against Greinke for sure, maybe Kershaw, did that factor in at all?
We're trying to win the games from our end. When they announce their starters, we're scouting them on a daily basis, and we'll just have to prepare for their roster, the way it's constructed, and we try to win both games.
When you guys were having these conversations about who you would throw, were Patrick and Trevor the favorites all, the whole way, or did it shift?
We've considered everybody, honestly. For me, as I looked at it early in the winter, this was one of the things that I considered, and it ended up playing out. But we're in total agreement on it. Again, just coming in and watch how everybody's throwing the ball, and if you even look at Cahill last year, he threw the ball really good in the first 2 months. He fell apart in his third month. I think he was like 3-5, but he pitched very well. So he's come out good, and I think he's throwing good. I feel pretty confident that's why he's going to throw the ball for us.
Any other injury, anything not going on in the injury front?
Not that I know of. Tuffy's been out. He's coming back. He's quite a bit of activity today. Cody ran the bases today. Yeah.
Was it the first time for him?
Yeah. Maybe 60-70%, but ran the bases. We're looking at maybe getting him into a simulated game here. Is it tomorrow? Is tomorrow the 4th? We might get him in a sim game tomorrow in the backfield. Delgado's going to throw. We're going to create a sim game with him, I think, on the minor league side. Probably be, last I heard, it was going to be at 1 o'clock, so we'll get Cody in that as well. So we're going to start picking up his activity.
Is this still ahead of schedule for Cody?
I don't know. No, I'm not a doctor, believe it or not.
Has he hasn't,
Not of that.
He didn't stay at the Holiday Inn Express.
Yeah.
he hasn't slid yet, though, right?
No. All right. See you guys.
Just your reaction to being named the opening day starter.
No, it's an honor. I think everybody wants to start the first game, and that's how I prepared myself this offseason and up to where we are today at this point. And just hearing it officially today, now I'm just going to stay on the schedule I was on and prepare. And I'm really excited to get out there and help the team win.
You've also expressed some excitement about going over to Australia. I know Zach Greinke said there was zero excitement over there from Australia. Is it something? Does it make it even more special if this game's in Australia and you're opening before everybody else is?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Getting a break from these spring training games and having a regular season game. And I was fortunate to have an opportunity to go over there. The Diamondbacks sent me earlier, and I got to see what Sydney was all about and where we're going to be playing. And I'm just as excited to be going back there. So the people there were awesome. They took care of us, and I think it's going to be awesome for Sydney and not only Major League Baseball and the Diamondbacks to have an opportunity to to go over there and play in Australia for the first time in 2 regular season games that count, and me and Trevor are both equally as excited for the opportunity, and we'll hopefully get out there with 2 wins.
Have you thought about how interesting it is that you go from a year ago kind of fighting for a job in the rotation to now being the opening day starter?
I don't really. I mean, I'm not trying to put any pressure on myself or worry about that. I just when they tell me I'm throwing, that's what I'm going to do. So just hearing that news today was awesome, and now I'm just going to continue to build off what I've done in the off season and what I've done so far this spring, and just to be as best prepared as I can for that start. And I think they've done a great job with how this camp has been run so far, and making sure that we're going to be up there so we can go there and throw 7, 8, 9 innings or have our pitch count up. So my next start I'll probably go around 5 and just trying to build up my pitches and keep things going, and I'm really excited for the game, and looking forward for the opportunity.
Have you set your schedule? Will you have like an extra day or 2?
I'll have one extra a day, so it'll be like a 6-day routine or 6-day for the last day.
That suits you. Okay.
Yeah, no, it'll be fine. I think whenever you're a pitcher, you can get an extra day in there. Off days and things like that, it's during the middle of the season, it always helps, and we're used to it, so it's not going to change our routine that much at all.
When you said you prepared during the off season to make that start, did you start throwing earlier or do anything differently?
Yeah, well, I knew that the season was going to start earlier, and I usually start around the 1st, so this year I started a little bit before Christmas, kind of the first time throwing, so just kind of a week earlier, just making sure that my arm's ready, feeling good, and ready to go. And I think all the starters here were probably their mindset was hoping that they'd have a chance to pitch there, and just to be as prepared as they can for those games if they had the opportunity to do so.
Have you also talked? Go ahead.
You'll be throwing the first pitch of the season in all of baseball. Do you have, I don't know, does that mean something to you, or do you have memories of that first game?
I don't know. I honestly haven't really thought of it too much. I'm going to approach it as another ball game, and just and try to do my best, and whether it's the first or whatever, that doesn't mean too much to me, but it's exciting that the Diamondbacks are giving me the opportunity to start the first game. But like I said, I think every pitcher prepares for that, and I'm not going to change my routine or anything like that. I'm just going to just try to be as best prepared as I can for that game, and I think they've done a great job so far, and allowing us to be as prepared as we can, and letting us know in advance so we can kind of get our mindset right for that start.
Have you guys looked at post Australia? Do you know how that's going to play out?
I'm not really sure. I haven't talked much at all to anybody about that. Just I think that we're focused on those 2 games now, and now that we know who's starting there, we can just prepare ourselves for those games. And I'm not really sure how it works when we get back. I believe we have a couple days and a couple more spring training games. So, we'll just, whenever they tell me I'll throw next after that, I'll just go out there and throw.
What do you think about Gibby announcing the news over Twitter? Did you ever think
When he in the training room, he said that he was going to announce it later today, and he said through Twitter, I kind of laughed a little bit just because I don't really see him as a Twitter guy, and it was just, I don't know, just him on Twitter is just really hilarious to me.
He's had 3 tweets.
Yeah, 3 tweets? Nice. Well, I'm his 3rd tweet, I guess, and that's pretty good.
Do you follow him?
No, I haven't followed him. His 3 tweets, I don't know. How many followers does he have? Is he up there? That's pretty good.
For like 3 weeks. How did he tell you, or where did he tell you?
Just this morning, me and Trevor just kind of called us in and said he was going to tell the media later today. So, no, that's basically it.
Did you kind of have a feeling, how it kind of scheduled out?
Yeah, when I found out my first start, I just kind of wanted to see where I was scheduled just in case, and I was kind of towards the last or second to last game of spring, and it kind of made sense a little bit. So, just right now, just trying to build up my pitch count. So, when we go out there, I think they want us to go deep into that ball game. So,
Thanks, Patrick.
good. Yeah.
So, your thoughts about
Yeah, it's an honor. I'm excited, but I think the biggest thing for me and Corbin to do is just treat it like any other game. I know it's international play, but it's still at the end of the year just 2 games. I know it does mean a lot more, but I think both of us pitch better if we just treat it like any other game.
Does it show kind of a faith in you that they picked you to start one of the teams out there after, last season wasn't as good as you hoped?
Yeah, I mean, I know they looked at a bunch of different stats and matchups, and I think they should, go righty-lefty, and, we're both pretty familiar with pitching against the Dodgers, so, I wasn't in the room when they were talking about who was going to do it, but, I'm glad it's me, and going to prove that, I'm worthy.
You excited to be going over there?
Yeah, I mean, I pitched in China in the Olympics in '08, and the whole jet lag thing, I didn't really notice it that much, if anything, on the way back, and, we'll have plenty of time to get recalibrated, so it should be exciting. I mean, anytime it just kind of breaks up the monotony of, spring training and the whole season, so it should be fun.
What about playing on the cricket grounds, which, obviously it's, every new venue's a new venue, but this is gonna be really different, and, you'll get acclimated there, you'll have time to get used to that field.
Yeah, I mean, I guess our job is easy. Usually it's 6 feet 6 inches, and other than that, like, I know the position players I don't know what the wall is going to be like or the foul territory, but the part we have to worry about is pretty standard. So I'm sure they have somebody over there making the mound up to the standard, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Is this the most hype there's been for being not the opening day starter the next day?
I mean, I would assume so. I would assume so, just because, the situation. But yeah, I can't think of any other scenario in which the number 2 guy would, get that much attention. So.
Any message you want to give to people of Australia?
Just going to be a good show. 2 division rivals going for we're trying to reclaim the NL West, and, they won it last year, but, we're gunning for them. So it should be a good series.